Hello everyone, welcome to Wide Open. I did it again, didn't I, guys? I said Wide Open Adventures again when it's actually Abnormal Investigations. I've been working on the other channel, guys. I guess you can probably tell by now. Well, it's Sunday. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. I hope you're spending time with your family today. Trust me, those are things that some of us take for granted. And be happy that they're there with you and that you're able to spend time with them. Well, this encounter I have for you guys is I think it's a pretty wild one, pretty scary one, and I think they need some help. And as always, we have some of the best listeners out there, and I know you guys will have really good recommendations to make. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We've lived in our rural home for over a decade, surrounded by dense woods and rolling hills. It's a peaceful life, but for the past year, our family has been terrorized by a group of Bigfoot creatures. At first it started with strange noises at night, knocking on the walls, rustling in the bushes, an unsettling feeling of being watched. We dismissed it as a stray animal or the wind, but as the occurrences grew more frequent and intense, we realized we were dealing with something much more sinister. The creatures, which we've seen on multiple occasions, stand around 7 foot tall, covered in dark brown fur with an unmistakable longer snout. Their eyes glow underneath the light, and the intensity is almost scary enough to make your skin crawl. The harassment has escalated to the point where our grandkids are too afraid to play outside. The creatures have begun to target their toys, breaking or stealing them. We have found torn plastic and scattered debris all over the yard, and the kids are heartbroken. These creatures have always been around, but they have never, ever been mean, or they have never made us feel afraid until something recently must have changed. They have become aggressive. One particularly disturbing incident occurred when our granddaughter left her favorite doll on the porch. The next morning, we found the doll's head ripped off and the body torn apart. The kids were devastated. Things took a dark turn when my wife went to the well to fetch water. One of the creatures charged her, chasing her to the house. When she ran inside, it beat on the door, pounding relentlessly. We were trapped, praying for it to leave, praying that the door would hold up against whatever was on the other side. I've also been targeted. While checking the mail one night, I needed to go out because I had forgot we had an important letter coming that may have contained some money. I didn't want to leave it in the mailbox all night living in the country, as sometimes they're checked by other people, if you know what I mean. So, while checking the mail, I was attacked with a broken piece of landscape timber, leaving me with a painful bruise on my leg. As I was walking to check the mail, I heard the grunts of a creature across the road. I tried to ignore it, to act like I didn't know that it was there, not even shining my light over there to bother it, just minding my own business. As I checked the mail and was headed up the driveway back to my house, bang! It threw a broken piece approximately 4 foot long and smashed into the side of my knee, knocking me to the ground. I was hurt, and it hurt bad. The sheriff's office was called. The department dismissed my concerns, attributing the attack to mischievous kids. Wildlife officials were even called. I tried everything I could, and they advised me to restrict my activities to daytime hours and avoid going outside at night. Pretty much saying, let them have the night, I guess. The final straw came when I fired my gun into the air, hoping to scare them off. Instead, they responded with aggression. They broke our bathroom window and threw my toolbox through the window and into the bathtub. The sound was terrible of my wrenches and everything landing inside of the bathtub in the middle of the night when everything is quiet, and my wife, well, She was damn near traumatized. So was I, to tell the truth. In desperation, I resorted to firing leftover 4th of July mortars into the air. Surprisingly, this seemed to deter them. And they were screaming like they were totally terrified of these mortars. Of course, I had my rifle at my side, my trusty 30-30, whatever good it would do me, but it made me feel better than having nothing. But as I shot the mortars out over the pasture to where I heard them, the mortars would explode, and you could see the shadows running, and I'm talking these things were hauling ass. They haven't been back since I done that. Something with those mortars really scared them. We're seeking advice on how to protect ourselves and our property. We're open to exploring human deterrence, but we're willing to consider more drastic measures if necessary. Can anyone offer guidance on how to safely and effectively deal with these aggressive creatures? We're desperate for a solution as the constant fear and stress are taking a toll on me, and my wife especially. We've tried to research ways to deter Bigfoot, but there's limited information available. We're considering installing security cameras and motion-sensitive lights, but we're not sure if these measures will be effective, as I've heard Mike say on a lot of his videos to do this, so we will be doing this. We've also reached out to local wildlife experts and law enforcement, but they seem skeptical of our claims. We're feeling frustrated and isolated, and if no one believes us or takes us seriously, we have concerns about that. As I sit here writing this, I can feel the weight of fear and uncertainty bearing down on me. I'm not sure what the future holds or how I'll protect ourselves from these aggressive creatures. All I know is that we can't continue living like this, constantly looking over our shoulders waiting for the next attack. Now, I must admit, they haven't been back, but every now and then, on some of the nights when it's raining or there's a light rain in the air and I know the fields are soaked and wet, I must admit the child comes out in me and I'll fire a few mortars out across the field just to make sure they're not out there. We need help, and we need it now. If anyone has any advice or guidance, please come forward. We're desperate for solutions, and we're willing to try anything to protect our family and home. We've tried to talk to our neighbors, but they seem hesitant to get involved. Some have even suggested that we're imagining things or that we're to blame for the strange occurrences. It's frustrating and isolating feeling. Like no one believes you or takes you seriously whenever you talk about these things. We have also considered reaching out to local media outlets, hoping to raise awareness about the situation and potentially find some help. However, when we reached out to them, they laughed at us and were not interested in our story. I have a sense of dread that comes over me every now and then, and I'm afraid that one of these nights we're going to end up getting hurt. Will the mortars be enough to keep them away? I now have the lights installed. I've got the deer cams almost everywhere. It looks like I'm ready for deer season out here. All I'm missing is a corn feeder. Just joking. I would never feed them. That would be terrible. Do you think we've done all that we can do? I think you all are on the right track, and I think the reason the mortars scare them away is you have three things I think that really bother them. You have the light from the mortars, you have the sound from the mortars, and fire. And if you're something covered in fur or hair, fire is not really something you want exploding around you, so I can see that being a really good deterrent. Nothing wants to be caught on fire, especially by a mortar being popped out at you at night. You know, all you see is this little fuse burning, and the next thing you know, the whole world's lit up. So yeah, they may not be back, and I would make sure my lights work, and I think you're on the right track. What do y'all think? Do y'all have anything that you would have them add to this, guys? We have a lot of great people in our chat, guys. Our subscribers are the best. They have good advice, so I would recommend reading what they write. I will be, and I'll be answering them. And thank you guys for listening, smashing the like button. Until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner, and we'll see you on the next one.